Hey guys, thank you for listening to the Talk About Football podcast. This podcast is sponsored by the NFLwire.net. You know, if you want to keep up with any NFL news during the week, they upload multiple articles a day about all the news going around the NFL. We now have 2 podcasts a week. We have one Wednesday and one Saturday. Feel free to tune in. You know, go follow us on YouTube and Spotify. And I'm your host, JT. Alongside next to me is Chris.
How y'all doing today?
And let's dive right into our picks for this week. Our first game, we got the Giants at the Jets. I have the Giants beating the Jets 14-10. Basically a home game for both these teams. I think the Giants pull this one off because they've been playing a little bit better than the Jets. You know, the Jets took a loss last week to the Dolphins. So, I mean, I think the Giants have a little bit of an edge in this one. They started off good against the Cowboys last week. So I got the Giants on top.
Yeah, so I have the Giants beating the Jets 23-17. Like you said, the sole fact is the Giants just have been playing a tad bit better than the Jets.
Yep.
They looked good in the first half last week.
They looked really good, but then they just lost it.
Yep, and they just lost it. They can't finish games in the fourth quarter. But Jets suck, so I'm not really too worried about them right now. And I think the Giants take this one not with ease, but I think they're leading the game the entire way.
I agree with that. Moving on, we got the Falcons at the Saints. I have the Saints beating the Falcons 28-12. Number one, because it's in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. You know, that's a very hard place to go in and play. The Saints are rolling too. I mean, I think they got that division pretty much wrapped up. Matt Ryan will play, though, and I think Julio Jones will have a big game, but not enough to beat the Saints. I think on the Saints side, Michael Thomas has a big game. Drew Brees getting him the ball. So I got the Saints winning 28-12.
Yeah, so I have Saints winning 31-20. I like the Saints in this one, even though Matt Ryan's playing. It doesn't really matter. I think Julio Jones is going to have a good game for them. You know, without Mohamed Sanu, which was Matt Ryan's favorite target when he was playing.
Yeah, good point.
So I think some of the targets are going to be able to go to another receiver, in which I think it's going to be Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley are going to take a little step up in their roles. So
they have to.
They have to, and Austin Hooper is going to take a step up in his role. I'm very excited for fantasy owners now that Julio Jones have been kind of slacking a little bit. Now you could get the Julio Jones that you drafted in fantasy this week.
Exactly. You can
really
get
good,
the Julio Jones back.
Which is what you guys need right now.
Yeah. Moving on, we got the Chiefs at the Titans. I have the Chiefs winning 24-20. Mahomes is starting. Even if he wasn't starting, I still would have the Chiefs winning this game.
Same thing with me.
And the Titans secondary struggling. Malcolm Butler's out. So I think Mahomes can attack down the field. Establish their run game, but if the Titans want any chance, they got to hand the ball off to Henry a lot. You know, that's their offensive core right there. So, but I still got the Chiefs winning by 4.
Yeah, the Chiefs' defense is weak in the middle, so you got to attack with the run game. Even if you're losing, you still got to attack with the run game, and you also have to establish a good defense. If you can get Mahomes to scramble out of the pocket when he is
100%, when he's not 100%.
When he's not 100%, if you can make him scramble out of the pocket if you can make Mahomes make a Mahomes-like throw running out of the pocket and scramble.
I don't think he'll be as sharp with a Mahomes special throw when he's not 100%. That's hard to do even when he's 100%.
Yeah. So if you can get him out of the pocket and make him scramble and make Mahomes work for that Mahomes-like throw, then that means you're doing something good.
Right.
So that's why I have 24-14, a little bit of a lower scoring game. But again, it's the Titans. They're not scoring a lot. You can't have Tannehill throw for 50 times. You need Derrick Henry to throw. You need Derrick Henry.
You do
to get 25 touches this game if you want to even be in contention.
Next, we got the Ravens at the Bengals. I have the Ravens winning 31-10 over the Bengals.
Like, do we even have to talk about this game? Ryan Finley's getting the start for the Bengals.
I mean, if you're in Cincinnati this week, go to a football game because Tickets for the Bengals game, I believe you could sit like in the upper deck for $15 a piece. Go watch some football. Go see Lamar Jackson play.
Yeah, I think all the Ravens fans in Cincy right now are really excited.
Oh,
but
heck
you know,
yeah.
if you're a Cincy fan, you ain't excited.
No,
But
I wouldn't even watch that game.
I would just turn the TV off.
Yeah. Next we got the Bills at the Browns. I have the Bills winning 20-19 by 1 point.
I have Browns taking a dub for once.
Which I don't understand. And you were telling me
17-16.
you were telling me earlier that people aren't used to the Browns cold. Listen, to Cleveland cold.
Bro, the Cleveland cold.
The Cleveland cold. Buffalo cold is much more worse than Cleveland cold. Buffalo is prepared and Buffalo is going to win this game.
Just the way that Buffalo has been playing right now, I don't know if I can go with them. Even though they have, I think, a better team in general, you got to go with an upset. And I like Cleveland after the bye, get some time to talk about it. Freddie Kitchens gets a little bit more developed as a coach.
Give me a break.
And, Baker Mayfield.
Freddie Kitchens gone after this year.
Bro, he better be gone after this year. If he's not, I'm going to be very frustrated.
Why?
What do you mean, why? He's
Who
terrible.
wants the Browns to be successful?
I don't want the Browns to be successful, but I'm just saying in general, if the Browns themselves want to be successful, Freddie freaking Kitchens needs to get the hell out of there.
I agree.
But Browns will take this one by a field goal, 17-16.
We'll see. I don't agree with you there. Next, we got the Cardinals at the Bucks. I got the Bucks winning 20-17. First time back at Raymond James Stadium in 7 weeks. They forgot what it even looked like. I mean, the fans better be in big support tomorrow.
Bucks take the win 26-20. Missed field goal by Matt Gay.
Matt Gay. Wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Which is me 26-20.
Let's see Jameis Winston bounce back. Well, not really bounce back. Listen, he hasn't been playing bad. He hasn't been playing terrible.
Exactly. He hasn't been playing terrible.
Terrible, but not great.
But how about
mediocre.
that game in London?
The game in London was terrible, but I'm talking about the Seattle game. He did not one turnover the Seattle game. That ball,
he had that strip.
That game though came down to a coin toss in overtime. I believe if the Bucks win the coin toss, they march down the field and win the game with a touchdown.
Ooh, okay.
They would have. They were running all over Seattle's defense.
They were.
So I think the Bucks got a little bit of confidence from that game, even though if it was a loss.
And Bruce Arians is on
playing his former team too.
Playing his former team on a 4-game losing streak against his former team. I think this comes to an end.
Yeah,
I think it comes to an end tomorrow. So I'm very excited to see.
Yep. Next we got the Lions at the Bears. I got the Lions winning 27-21.
Lions 28-24. Mitchell Trubisky's your starting quarterback. I am betting against you every single week.
I would too. I mean, unless it's like the Dolphins or the Bengals, but
I would still even make a mark to maybe choose them because Mitchell Trubisky is this bad on offense. This morning they just released Mike Davis. So a person like me who has been waiting on David Montgomery in fantasy is very excited because David Montgomery is going to be carrying this offense.
100%.
So Mitchell Trubisky can run the play action now and do what he did last year, which was become a playoff team running out of the play action. So Mitchell Trubisky, if you're watching this, run the play action, please. Jesus Christ.
We'll see what happens. I still got the Lions over the Bears.
Me too, 28-24.
Next, we got the Dolphins at the Colts. I have the Colts winning 25-13. Shouldn't be a problem for the Colts.
I have 24-13. So.
It shouldn't be a problem for the Colts.
I think Adam Vinatieri misses 2 field goals, though.
I do. He kicked, buns last week, bro.
Adam Vinatieri, he's like 46, bro, and you expect him to kick 50 yards.
Yeah, they put him out there. They're like, all right, let's kick one from the logo. All right, we'll see. And
the Dolphins
misses it a mile left.
The Dolphins will not get 2 wins in a row.
No,
so stop.
No way. Yeah.
You guys are lucky you got an 8 win, so stop trying to ask for 2 wins against the Colts, who's a playoff team. So get out of here.
Yeah. Next, we got the Panthers at the Packers. I have the Packers winning by a touchdown, 24-17, just because it's in Green Bay, cold. I mean, one surprise. We saw snow there this week, remember? We both saw on social media, the snow covering Lambeau Field. So, is Carolina ready for that? I don't think so.
It's 28-14 going to the Packers.
Yeah, I think the Packers win this one.
Even though the Packers played terrible in the first half against the Chargers last week, in the second half they scored 2 touchdowns. I think they get right back on track, and then Aaron Rodgers does his thing.
And I don't think Riverboat Ron Rivera can establish a good enough game plan to beat the Packers. We'll see, though. Next, we got the Rams at the Steelers. I got the Rams winning 23-20 over the Steelers. Closer game, only because the Rams haven't been playing well.
And the Steelers
the defense has stepped up for the Steelers. This is crazy to sound, but the Steelers are in contention in the AFC.
Were they like 0-3 at first?
To start, and without their QB.
4-4.
Yeah. Anything could happen.
Yeah, but I have Rams winning 20-17. Close game. I don't think Mason Rudolph is Ben Roethlisberger in the fourth quarter clutch. I think that's what happens, and the Rams end up getting like a late interception, and then it's game over.
Yeah. I think the Steelers are come close. Yeah,
but the Steelers defense is going to play good.
And it's in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. That's always a hard place to play for anybody.
Heinz Field
with the terrible towels waving. Yep. The Sunday night game, we got the Vikings at the Cowboys. I actually have the Vikings beating the Cowboys. 28-24.
I have Cowboys beating Vikings 30-21. Just the way that Dak Prescott played in the second half against the Giants. I always go what happened before. The way that Dak Prescott played in the second half against the Giants, look good, threw the ball, left the pocket. He even got pressured a bunch. He looked good. I hate saying it, but he looked good. And so I got to go. I know the Vikings defense is nowhere near the Giants
That's
defense.
why I'm saying I just have a gut feeling that the Vikings can pull this out.
But Vikings, Adam Thielen, I don't believe is playing tomorrow. That's one thing.
I thought he was questionable.
I don't think he's playing now. I got to go with Dak Prescott on that one.
You still got Diggs, though. We'll see. It should be a good game. Sunday night game, prime time. Watch it. Now, next, this is my favorite game of the week. Probably my favorite game of the season.
Bro. This is one of my favorite game of the year.
The Monday night game, the Seahawks at 49ers. I do have the 49ers winning 31-28. I think I got a version of the Chiefs-Rams last year, but the Seahawks and 49ers.
I have a very low-scoring game.
Do you really?
21-13 going to the 49ers.
Wow.
I think both these two teams have very good defenses. Russell Wilson is playing like an MVP quarterback. But I don't know. I can
see that.
I think it's shut down because a lot of it comes from the run game from Chris Carson. So I think the run game gets absolutely shut down. It makes Russell Wilson one-dimensional. It makes him throw the football.
I can see that. I can see that.
The entire game. Don't get me wrong. The 49ers playing great. So I'm going with them. But I do like Russell Wilson in this game. I think this is going to give him a good run for his money to see if he's really the MVP.
Let's see. All right, that'll wrap it up for our picks. Let's move on to our news. I'll start off with Oakland Raiders defensive back Carl Joseph. He's got a foot injury and he could miss the rest of the season, which is not good for Oakland. He went down late in the game the other night on Thursday.
Yeah, and the Raiders also signed a few safeties. Just replaced DJ Swearinger was the big one, and former Giant Curtis Riley was also signed. He wasn't signed, but he was a candidate. To be signed. Mm-hmm. They worked him out.
Yeah. So not good for the Raiders. Let's move on. Chris, what you got?
We have George Kittle from tight end for the 49ers, who is doubtful to play with a knee injury. Week 10 against the Seahawks.
He didn't practice this week, I don't think. No, he didn't.
Yeah, so he played around 70% of the snaps in Week 9 when Ross Dwelly played 30% of the snaps, which is very interesting to see.
If he can't play, he'll start nearly every snap for the 49ers.
Yes, so if Kittle sits fantasy owners, you know who to go get.
Yep. Next, we got Brandon Cooks for the Rams. He has a concussion. He was cleared to practice on a limited basis. So, we'll see if he can play. Probably not. He might. They're looking at a return in Week 11.
I think if I'm the GM and the coach, I'm letting Cooks sit out this week.
I would too. I would. Why injure him even more?
Yeah. So moving on, we have Alvin Kamara, who has an ankle injury, who was listed not on the final injury report for the Saints, which is very good. So if you have fantasy owners, he is your RB1 this week. You're going to play him anyways. And Latavius Murray is a flex play this week, and you should be just fine with those two guys on your team.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with Curtis
Saints,
Samuel.
and they're playing the Falcons, so it's a good game to get everyone off and running.
Yeah. Same thing with Curtis Samuel, the wide receiver for the Panthers, who
hamstring injury. That's what we're about to talk about. Curtis Samuel, he's got a hamstring injury. He wasn't on the final injury report for the Panthers though, so it's one of Kyle Allen's favorite targets.
Just to give you a example how important Curtis Samuel is to this offense, DJ Moore and Kyle Allen are the intermediate routes when Curtis Samuel takes the top off the defense. He has 18 passes caught for 20 yards or more over the last 9 weeks. And there's only two more players that are higher than him: Kenny Golladay from the Lions and Mike Evans from the Bucks. The two others have the most targets over 20 yards. So downfield. So he is very important to this offense. If he doesn't play, if he didn't play, this would be really bad for the Panthers. But he's playing. He's down the injury report.
Yeah,
so he's good.
He should be good to go. That is good for the Panthers. Move on. We got Matthew Stafford for the Lions. Hip and back injury. He's questionable for Sunday's matchup against the Bears.
I don't care.
He'll play. He
played fully expected through pain this week. He's fine. It's Matt Ryan. He hasn't missed a game since 2010. I'm Matthew Stafford. He hasn't missed a game since 2010.
The Bears' defense are allowing 4.9 yards per carry for any running back. So I think Matthew Stafford will be in there, run the ball a lot, and I think the Lions will be just fine against the Bears.
Yep, he's playing. So your tight end, Chris Herndon from the Jets, hamstring questionable against the Giants. Do they really need him? Probably. Le'Veon Bell is also questionable with a knee injury from the Jets, so the big guys for the Jets. Ryan Griffin has been playing great, so I think actually maybe you should sit him and let him work on the hamstring one more week. I don't know what your thoughts about.
Yeah, I think they should sit him another week, like you just said. Remember, you never want to injure a player more than he already is. But if he says, "Hey, I'm good to go," maybe you let him play. Let him go out. Like 90 minutes before the game. In shorts, let him run around a little bit, stretch. It's going to be cold, out in the cold. It's going to be cold, see how his muscles are working, and then make the decision from there. So we'll find out probably about 90 minutes before that game.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell is also questionable, but Adam Gase said this week that it looks good.
Yeah, which is good. I think Le'Veon Bell will play in this game.
He's playing. It's the two New York running backs from each other.
Yeah, and the Giants are the 23rd ranked defense in the league. So
against the Jets 31 ranked scoring offense.
Yeah, so great matchup.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Next we got Delanie Walker, the tight end for the Titans. Delanie Walker
is out.
Ankle, and he will not suit up. So not good for the Titans. They need that tight end. That's a big target.
Jonnu Smith is going to be that tight end this week, who just like he was last week. Who, when Delanie Walker was out, Jonnu Smith came in and played great for you for fantasy and for the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in fantasy or you're the Titans, you're playing Jonnu Smith for fantasy this week. He's a low end tight end one option.
100%.
Play him.
100% play him.
Corey Davis, doubtful with a hip injury. If you have A.J. Brown on waivers for I'm just thinking about fantasy
Thinking fantasy.
A.J. Brown on waivers, you're playing him this week. He's going to get most of the snaps.
He is.
And he's been getting most of the snaps anyways. And Corey Davis, doubtful. So he's going to get his 90. He's going to get the shorts on. He's going to run around. He's been coach. You can't play. A.J. Brown's going to get the bulk of the throws. This is when you see A.J. Brown could get his 10 to 12 target game with about 8 catches
at home.
Well, at home with almost 150 yards.
Yeah.
So Corey Davis, doubtful, but A.J. Brown is a great guy to go pick up.
Yep. Next we have David Johnson, running back for the Cardinals. He wasn't listed on the Cardinals' final injury report, which is good for the Cardinals with the ankle injury. I think the Cardinals this Sunday will use 2 running backs, Kenyon Drake and David Johnson.
And I think you're going to see a little Chase Edmonds in there too.
So split it among 3.
Yeah,
I think Kenyon Drake still gets the majority of the carries.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe David Johnson, Kenyon Drake both get around 10 when Chase Edmonds gets a lot of the receiving.
Right.
Even though when Chase Edmonds and David Johnson are literally the same back. They do this. They're the same back. But I think David Johnson's going to get some of the carries while Edmonds gets the catches and Kenyon Drake is the all-around back.
Yep.
And even though we spoke about this man already, George Kittle did not practice on Friday, so it's not looking too good for him, even though he's ruled doubtful. So let's just move on.
We got Amari Cooper, wide receiver, Cowboys. His knee, he's questionable for the Cowboys in Week 10 against the Vikings. Guy's got to play. Big game. I think he'll play, though.
And it's a Sunday night, so you have a little bit more time than the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock games. Yeah. You still have the late night game to really know if you're ready. But again, you're playing.
You got all day to prepare.
And you're playing against Xavier Rhodes, who's been playing not very good this year, but again, it's still Xavier Rhodes, one of the top corners in the league.
Yeah.
You still got, and you have to. If Michael Gallup plays on Xavier Rhodes, Dak Prescott will not be able to throw the ball properly, and it's going to be all on Zeke's shoulders.
Yep. 100%.
Moving on, we have Juju Smith-Schuster. Toe, questionable. And maybe turf toe. It may be a broken toe. They're not too sure yet. But he has a toe injury. And Brian Switzer and James Washington are going to be...
Yeah, and Deontay Johnson, too.
Yeah, going to be the 3 while Jalen Samuels out of the backfield and James Conner is still out.
Yep.
That's all you really need to know. Because James Conner is ruled out this week.
James Conner's out this week. Let's move on. We got Marquise Brown, wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. His ankle injury, and he's listed questionable for the Ravens in Week 10 matchup against the Bengals. I think Marquise Brown will play. Well, it depends. It's one of those how you feel.
My thing is he doesn't have to play.
He doesn't.
He's playing against the Bengals.
Give him a rest. He
doesn't have to play. But he can, and will do just fine.
And look at Lamar Jackson below right here.
He has an illness.
Yeah, so
he's sick, but he's fully expected to suit up. He's fully expected to suit up. And so is technically Marquise Brown's. Again, it's fully expected to suit up. Lamar Jackson has fed Brown 43 targets.
That's pretty huge amount of targets
because he's a deep threat. That's actually pretty big. I didn't realize that until now. But we're gonna move on. Marquise Brown and Lamar Jackson are technically questionable. They're both expected
to play, so expect to see them playing.
And your quarterback,
Patrick Mahomes, for the Chiefs. He will start Sunday against the Titans. That's great news for Kansas City. Like I said in my pick, though, I don't know if he'll be 100%. Like you said, he's got to – if they can get him to scramble, we're going to see if he can still make those sidearm throws, the left-handed throws, the no-look throws.
Yeah,
not being 100%. Maybe force a mistake, maybe. The Titans might be able to force a mistake or two. But I still got the Chiefs winning this game, and it's good that Patrick Mahomes is back for this Sunday.
And my quarterback, who I was mistakenly wrong on this year, Jacoby Brissett, game time decision with the knee injury.
So we'll know before. I think he'll suit up though.
Brissett will be without some of his two best pass catchers, T.Y. Hilton and Paris Campbell.
Yes.
Hilton with the calf and Campbell with the hand. So let's see.
And the Dolphins are the 32nd ranked defense.
Yeah.
In the league.
And we were talking about this. Adam
Thielens ruled out
with the hamstring.
Who you got next?
AJ Green ruled out, ankle. Very bad to see this. He really, as you can tell, Bengals, he doesn't want to play.
Yeah, we talked about this Wednesday.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to go on the. He doesn't want to step on the field. He doesn't want to wear the uniform. He doesn't want to be part of the organization.
Auden Tate and when this organization's going terrible, when you start your franchise quarterback and you don't, even though he hasn't been playing great, but he's not the reason why they're losing.
No, it's the defense.
The defense and everyone else around
and everybody else. The offensive line gives them no protection.
Joe Mixon can't run the ball to save his damn life.
Can't run, gets stuffed, runs into his own offensive lineman, and falls to the ground. Just not good. And AJ Green clearly wants out of Cincinnati. Where do you see AJ Green going? Where's a good fit?
His contract's up this year. I don't know. I wanted the Giants to make a pursuit on him, but it was going to cost a first-round pick, and the way the Giants are playing, you can't give the Bengals the first and right now the sixth. I don't know. I don't see where a team that needs an outside deep threat type of receiver, a team that needs a number one receiver.
Yeah.
The Bills, the Jets, the Giants are all teams that should be in consideration for AJ Green this offseason.
No, yeah, I agree. Our last one, we have Matt Ryan, the quarterback for the Falcons. We talked about this. Dan Quinn says Matt Ryan will start against the Saints. He had a streak of 163 consecutive starts come to an end in Week 8. That's insane. 163 consecutive starts.
Yeah, and he had 6 or 7 games with 300-yard performances, and he was playing. He was not one of the reasons he could not. He was throwing the ball too much down the field when I think it should have been a little bit more handoffs to Devontae Freeman.
I do too. You got to mix it up better. I think Julio and Matt Ryan will connect good though this week.
I think it's gonna be a big shootout this week.
Yep, I think so too. So that's gonna wrap it up for our podcast this week. We hope we got you all ready for a big week in the NFL tomorrow. Everyone go out and enjoy the games. Have fun tomorrow. And we'll be back with you Wednesday. Feel free to tune into our podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Go follow us on Spotify. And we thank you guys for all the support.
And we'll see you guys Wednesday.
See you.